What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Rev. Welcome to Reviewed. This is Black Panther edition. So this review is going to be a little bit different because I'm sure if you've been on the net, you've seen non-spoiler reviews, spoiler reviews, different takes. And this review is more about the impression that Black Panther left on me. Black Panther's been out for about 2 weeks, and I feel like there's been so many different opinions on it. My takeaway from Black Panther was, I can't believe it. Like, I cannot believe that our version, and when I mean our version, I mean black people's version, black men and women, their version of Superman came about. Now, there's different, takes on that. Some people feel that Marvel exploited blacks to make as much money as they did. Some people would say that Marvel was racist. Some people would say that, how can you have a bunch of black people go see the movie and y'all think you're woke, but you're not woke, and what they did to black Americans, over African Americans. And I'm like, wow, really? So here, I've already defended that, by the way. It's on my Tumblr, who is Revenon. And here's what I would say. I think that for 2 hours and 15 minutes, we were able to see a movie that was just simply incredible. It was, it wasn't black people in chains. It wasn't black people robbing people. It wasn't any of that stuff. It was a royal family that was dealing with keeping things in-house, if you will, and realizing that times needed to change. Here was a family that was living in Africa that was excluded themselves from everything to protect what they had. And I think Marvel did a wonderful job exploiting that, right? It didn't say that was the greatest thing to do. It basically just said, hey, listen, they had this vibranium. They didn't want the world to get it. They wanted to kind of flourish and, disguise themselves. And they didn't say that was cool. The fact that T'Challa's father, T'Chaka, killed his own brother, right, to keep the secret in-house. Marvel never said that was cool. They never rode with that and said, hey, that was the way to be. And Killmonger's character, everyone praised Michael B. Jordan for having the great performance that he did, and I think he had a wonderful performance. I think his angle, a lot of people could, recognize with. So you have what you would call angry black men and women who are saying, no, Killmonger's perfect, and he should do exactly what he was supposed to do, and he should kill all these people and liberate black people, and we should live as white people, right, are living right now. And my thing is, it should have never been that way in the first place. And that's the tone of the movie that I got, right, is that just because people are oppressed, just because women are oppressed, just because minorities are oppressed or whatever from the white man, just because that's happening doesn't mean that we flip the script and they now become oppressed, right? We are now the ones that rule, and no, there's equal opportunity for everybody. And I think that's where T'Challa was going. If you notice in his confrontations with Eric Killmonger, there aren't moments where he's like, you must die, right? T'Challa is trying to look at Eric and say, hey, listen, I understand where you're coming from. You're a little bit extreme. Even at the end, right? At the end where they were having the fight with, on the vibranium train, or on the tracks of the vibranium train, T'Challa's trying to tell him, hey, listen, you're becoming the people you hate. Do you not see that? And Killmonger never saw that. And a lot of people were like, oh, Killmonger died, Loki lived. Killmonger had to die, right? He had to die. Like, he was going too far. And the thing about it, I'll even retract that statement. He didn't actually have to die. He chose to die, right? No one mentions that. Nobody. They're like, oh, they killed the only black American. It's like, no. That black American killed himself. He rid himself because he felt that he would be in chains forever. And I'm like, well, you have to pay for the people you killed, right? You can't just walk away from that, right? Like, yeah, you expect to just get a free pass. Like, You killed all these people. You caused... Loki was even in prison for his actions. It wasn't like Loki... Like, people look at Loki and they look at Killmonger and they go, well, Loki was able to, go on across movies and everything like that. But no, he was locked up, right? And the only reason why they freed him is because Asgard was getting attacked, right? So his brother was like, hey, listen, you gonna help out here or not? It wasn't like Loki was just free reign. That wasn't the case, but, because racism, whatever. I love the movie. I love the costumes. I love the acting. I love the roles. I love the fact that women weren't second place. They weren't a sidekick. They definitely were the ones. I mean, you had the Dora Milaje, I believe that's the name of it, protecting the king, right? There were no men protecting the king. Every other tribe had men protecting their, leader. Black Panther, the king of Wakanda, had women protecting him, And I thought that was amazing. I thought that was incredible. I love the fact that everyone had natural hair in the movie. I walked out of that theater just feeling so empowered. I've now seen the movie twice. And it's been incredible. It's been an incredible ride. I am so happy that we have Black Panther now, because my favorite superhero was Superman, right? And Superman was from another planet. That's probably why I couldn't get with Iron Man. I couldn't relate to him. I couldn't relate to Spider-Man. Couldn't relate to him. All these other superheroes I couldn't, but Superman I could, because he was from another planet. So he was an outsider looking in, and that was my thing. But with Black Panther, I definitely can identify, and I think that Marvel got it right. A lot of people are upset, and they're like, the Black American, and this thing about I think his name's Frost. I think that was his name, or Ross. Sorry, Ross. Agent Ross. About Agent Ross saving the day. Really? Come on. Agent Ross saves the day? There were multiple things happening at the end of the ship, or at the end of the scene, or at the end of the movie in the third act. Agent Ross was helping, saving the day. They saved him, right? He's dead. They saved him, right? So then he then turns to save the day. Come on, who haven't they saved? Wakanda has always saved people, right? It wasn't just their own, right? They brought Bucky over there at the end of what was it, Civil War, I want to say, or the Avengers. I'm not sure. I think it was Civil War. So, and they fix him up. They repair him, right? This gentleman gets shot in the back or injured to where, if they don't fix him, he's paralyzed or he's dead. They heal him. So in turn, he helps. But somehow, he's the one, the white man saves the day. No! Here's the deal. If those ships get out of Wakanda, right, and they go to London and Paris and all these other places, if they go there, what happens is Killmonger still gets the throne, and then they send follow-up ships to combat those ships out there. That's what happens, right? So he helped. And if Nakia and Shuri didn't have to help Black Panther out in the field, Shuri would have been the one to shoot those planes down. But they needed help. So he just happened to be there. And a lot of people don't get it with his character. He's helping black people. And that's what we have in the world today. It's not like black people are uprising all by themselves. Come on. The world works better when we work together. And that's exactly what was happening. Is that it showed that white people, black people could work together. It showed that different types of black people could work together. Remember, because the Jabari tribe was like, I don't want anything to do with Wakanda, right? Their wood is the equivalent of vibranium. Didn't know that, did you? Yeah. Right? They don't have vibranium over in their area. In the Jabari tribe, it's all wood, right? They don't need vibranium. They don't use it. They're totally independent. And yet, at the very end, right, because we want to talk black Americans versus African Americans, here we have two tribes that don't you know, they're together, but they're standoffish, and he comes to help out. But you don't see that. All you see is hate and racism and the white man, even though there's none around, getting ahead. Claw dead, right? All these white people dead, but no, still not good enough for you. Unbelievable, unbelievable, unbelievable. It's almost like you wanted Killmonger to kill off Black Panther and to go across the world just killing, so you can go, yeah, stick it to the man. That is not what's supposed to happen. What happened to us was wrong. We don't then in turn do the same thing. We have to build within ourselves and say, hey, listen, this is what I would do, right? Because you don't like being oppressed. So why would you oppress, right? They don't need to feel our pain. And that's the lesson all in itself. So my rating for Black Panther is out of 1 to 10. My email's going off. 1 to 10, I would probably go with a 8.5. 8.5. Reason being is that I don't think Killmonger was fleshed out a lot. I don't think that they went deeper. They could have gone deeper a little bit with the struggles that they had with helping out the world. I do like the fact that Marvel, they didn't include the other Marvel characters in it, and it was almost like its own standalone movie. I do love that. Well, and that's it. So thank y'all very much for watching, and peace. See you soon.